and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to SEN Live. It is the Schmoedown Entertainment Network. All right, listen. So we're gonna take a break from the Schmoebots and everything else for a second, and we are gonna show you guys. So you guys have, if you've been following Schmoes long enough and you've been following the space, you know that Allison Hayslip is a big a friend of the show, and we've done a lot of things with Allison, whether it's on Collider or anything too. I was very happy to see that she was in this movie called Allan The Dog, because I know the creator of the movie. I know he's a friend. He's a guy I worked with over at The Bachelor, and he'd done reviews with myself and Mark. He did the Angry Driving Guy, which is really was a fun. I think he's still doing that. I have to talk to him about that as well. But he's a really funny dude. And I will talk to him about this. You guys know that I have done pranks over the years in my lifetime. My prank that I am the most happy with in my entire life, my friend Steve was unfortunately the recipient of that prank, and we'll talk about that. Like I've done some great ones before, but I was very proud of this one, and I think that I haven't really talked to him about it ever on the air. But even he was like, I remember him coming up to me like, "That was a good one, dude." So we'll talk about that in just a moment. But I do want to show you guys the trailer to Allan the Dog, and then after he comes on in, I believe Ellis will be here too. But we'll have an opportunity to talk to Steve Wright. So here we go.
Vanilla ice like spicy rice. Vanilla ice like spicy fucking rice. Boom!
You let me keep my balls, people.
Sure don't want him licking mine.
Good thing he's a heavy sleeper.
What?
Few things in this world are more special than the relationship between a man and his dog.
Yeah.
That is, until they both fall for the same woman.
Ooh, that must be Ellie.
Who?
Your new dog walker.
I already hate her knock.
Hi.
Takes a confident male to rock a onesie.
I wear them for both comfort and nerd hipness. Are you a sociopath?
Every time I murder somebody, I feel terribly guilty.
Witty banter. Check.
Go hard.
Mailman.
Cullen, no!
Yeah, set me straight, baby girl. I'm so naughty. I'm gonna go schmooze this hurting soul.
Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. That is far enough, Garfield.
That's not even a dog.
Yeah. Scram.
All good.
Go hard.
At least I have my date with Ellie tomorrow.
Don't get carried away, Alan. She's your dog walker.
Ooh, dressed up a little bit today.
This is Princess Leia.
Buzzkill. Let's see if the mutts hit it off. Unless this is a menage a pas type of thing.
No!
She's a human and you're a dog. You're not right for Ellie, dude.
Go hard.
I'll kill him.
This chick is driving us crazy. Your allergies are safe, Barrick, but love gets through the suit. You're crazy!
Oh.
Tell my mother I love her.
You okay, pal? What's the first thing you're gonna do when we're rich and famous?
Being happy and having each other is more important than showbiz.
Exactly. It's gonna be wall-to-wall sex for me, too.
And the main man who wrote it, he does the voice of Allan the Dog. Ladies and gentlemen, my buddy Steve Wright. How you doing, Steve?
I'm doing well, man. Thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. I want to talk about Allan the Dog, man.
Sure.
So you, I remember you coming up with this during your time when we were working together at The Bachelor. Is that right? Am I right about that?
That is right. I remember, it all started with, there was a McGruff the crime dog puppet sitting in the assists bay. And I was like, oh, just kind of took notice of that. And then next time I swung by, it was still there. And I was like, can I borrow that puppet? Which sounds a little dirty. I'm like, I got to take that puppet home. No, but so I just started producing just a little, some comedy videos with the McGruff puppet.
Yeah.
But then, of course, when we started thinking about making the movie, of course, we can't use a McGruff the crime dog puppet. So
right.
we built an original puppet, and that's been the puppet ever since.
Let's talk about the cast a little bit too, because like you said, when I saw the trailer, I was obviously excited to see your trailer because I want to. I mean, you've been to Schmoedown stuff. You've been such a supporter of us for so long that I was like, yeah, and I've been a fan of your comedy for a bit, so I'm like, let me check out what Steve's doing, and I was really surprised and excited to see Allison in the movie. So how did you get involved with Allison Hainslow?
Hi, I'm Matt.
Ellie.
Yeah.
We got to Sam Daly first. A friend of a friend
that's cool.
Knew Sam, and he knows Allison and has worked with Allison. And he was like, I know somebody who would be great for this. And so that's how we got the script to her.
You guys just kind of hit it off, obviously.
Absolutely. I mean, I remember our first read through, and you could just tell everyone got the script, got the movie, connected with the comedy. So ever since the first read through, I was like, oh, it just felt really good. Yeah.
Well, let's not bury the lead. How'd you get Steven Weber?
So, Sam Daly, has been in a bunch of stuff. He was in The Office. He played Oscar's boyfriend in several episodes, and he's in Hunters right now. And his father is a famous actor, Tim Daly, who was on Wings back, which I of course remember. So Sam was obviously pivotal in bringing on some key cast members. And then Allison got the script to Gwen Hollander, who is the voice and puppeteer of Alan's love interest. And we did go through a formal casting process for some of the other roles, but yeah, it was it was a real movie experience, man, and it was just a total blast. Obviously, man, going to set every day and performing this puppet, was a dream come true, to be honest with you. It was a blast.
That's great, because I know your humor. I worked with you for so long that I know that you can definitely tell, even watching the jokes. I'm like, yeah, that's definitely a Steve joke there for sure.
Kelly, dog treats. Is this heaven?
Oh man, I would wreck that first.
Working with people, though, funny, because Allison's really funny as well. So like when you're working with other comedians, like I know that it's also beneficial to be able to take a particular joke that you have, and then sometimes it's one or two things, right? It's either one, I have this joke, I know how I want it to land, please say it this way, and if you don't, it's like, argh. But then there's the other side of that, like, okay, well, these people are talented enough, maybe they'll spin it this way, and I got something I wasn't even expecting I was going to get. Did you come across that a lot on the set? The writing was so excellent. Just kidding. I wrote it, so I'm just joking. No, but no, I'm kidding. No, absolutely. The collaboration was fantastic. We would do read-throughs, and absolutely people would read it a little differently at times, and it would be more effective and funnier. We also kept, once we had that first read-through, we got feedback from our actors. Allison gave us great feedback about her character. There are times where she's like, I don't think this makes sense. Her attitude in this scene, because it's coming off of this. I'm like, you're right. There's one scene. So Allan does a lot of abbreves. That's one of his thing. He's always talking in abbreves. Like you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And Sam just had this great idea for an abreve fight for the two friends, a man and his dog. They get into this abreve fight. And so I wrote that scene, and we ended up putting subtitles of what they're saying.
Oh, that's funny.
You're the one who's LHFM? Oh, for having the balls to go out and get the success I deserve? At least I'm not a BS.
LB, brother, that's N-effing-F.
Steve, as a director, how do you feel about Viking movies? Could you make a movie with Vikings fucking? You see, Brett hasn't had freaky sex in a while and needs some new material, and Terry's only so many times he can beat it to that World Girls calendar.
Oh my goodness!
Wow, check out how classy our fans are, Steve.
Yeah, I love it. By coincidence, the next project I am working on is a Viking fucking movie.
Amazing.
And I actually, I did not direct Allan the Dog. My good friend Barry Murphy did. I met him in 2013, and Barry did an amazing job of bringing the team together and developing the whole thing. And so, yep, I'm not a director.
What a way to put a really nice, classy answer to a just filthy question. Thank you.
Filthy.
All right, what's next?
You guys were talking about R versus PG earlier.
Yeah.
We went through and we're like, can we make this PG? Let's look at every joke, that would have to change. And there was no way we could make it PG. So it is R due to language, but that's about it, it's not as raunchy as Happy Time Murders. We would always pitch it as Ted meets Rushmore.
Yeah.
I feel like the sensibility is somewhere in there. It's not quite as broad as Ted, nor is it as sophisticated as Rushmore, but somewhere in the middle there.
And I love that Alan's just staring at us in the picture over there in the poster.
Exactly. I've got Alan right here.
Where is he? What's Alan? Can I interview?
Oh
Alan
yeah, I
the
was
dog
gonna
for a
ask
second?
about the condition.
Yeah. So Steph, you want to interview Alan?
Oh yeah. Hey Alan, how are you doing today? Thanks for coming on SEN.
Hey, it's my pleasure. Thanks for having me. This is great. This is fantastic. Is this awkward? Yes. But it's really good. Thanks for having me on.
Do you like to be held the way you're being held?
Not really. It's a little uncomfortable, but anything for the business, Dirty. But yeah. And Steve was talking about the collaboration effort there, and it really was, because the script, while it was very functional, it was kind of bland, and you're looking at the guy right here who brings the magic.
That's
fine. You bring the magic, but you were designed off an original prototype. Have you met that one?
I've not. I insisted that the prototype be destroyed. So that was one of my conditions before making the movie, is to destroy the. I won't even say the name. I won't even say it, McGruff. But yeah.
We're very excited that you joined us, Alan. Thank you so very much.
Awesome. Thank you, Kristian, for having us. We really appreciate it. And the prank you did. Fantastic. Take care, guys.
Thank you. The prank. Speaking of the prank. Speaking of the prank.
You said real quick. Sorry, you said the cast was great to work with. How wretched was it to work with Kristian?
It's true.
We had our ups and downs, but yeah, man, it was it was good, man. It was good. Yeah.
I think we only had one down. I think the only down is there was a Comedy Store moment that we had, but we were because we're both like also so locked into the stuff that we're doing, and Steve's. I think we have so much respect for each other in the fact of creative and again, like I said, Steve and I started like the same time. We both started working at NXT, which is the company that does The Bachelor. So we were there, and Steve had such a great job. Steve's an editor on that show now, and the editors, by the way, are like that makes that show move. So getting on, and Steve told me that, I was like, that's a big jump. Congratulations on that.
Thank you, man.
Thank
you.
Yeah, the editors make that show. And Steve went from, there was the logging positions and everything. Steve started again. I don't, not to blow up Steve's head, but like Steve is a really hard worker, and he started from the logger position all the way up to an editor now, and that just shows you his determination and kind of his wherewithal. So, and the reason I bring that up is so the loggers, when they start, they're in there, they're kind of going over everything that's happening with the show, and they're very crucial to the show because they let you know just everything that's happening. The amount of footage that these people are watching is just incredible. So Steve had moved up, and I think at that point, the loggers had like this. There was like this room. There was like this full-on room where it was like the doors were shut, and it's almost like they left these poor guys in there like caged animals, right? And it's like, and it was like this glass. They still have that room with the loggers in it, Steve?
Yeah, it was like this glass case. We called it the fish bowl, and it was tight. It was tight in there.
It was tight.
There was one table, but
with a bunch of computers.
Yeah. Exactly.
So there's a bunch of these computers, and the loggers would all sit there. And then Steve got moved up, and then they moved Steve to like this cubicle. He took very good care of it. It was like really, as opposed to mine, which looked like a hurricane hit it. But like he took really good care of it, and he had all this stuff. And so one day I come in, and I think it was April Fool's Day. It was April Fool's Day.
It was. I'm having PTSD here, but yeah. Well, so yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
And I've got all kinds of things. I've got a computer, I've got files, and I come into the office and there is nothing on my desk. Everything is completely gone, except for a note from our office manager that says, "Come see me." And I'm like, I've been fired. I assume I've been fired. That was my thought. So I went and found her, and she's like, "Don't shoot the messenger." And I'm like, well, what's going, just tell me what's going on. And she's like, they're putting you in with the loggers. They want you to make sure that they do their work. So I go in there, and all my stuff, I'm like getting my computer set up in there. And dude, it's so tight in there. The desk was like in the very corner. So I'm getting everything set up, and I turn to the loggers and I go, get to work. Like that's my job now. I finally look up, and again, it's that glass bowl, and I saw Kristian across, just dying laughing. And I'm like, okay.
So everybody kept coming up to me, why is Steve out of his office? Why is Steve working in the locker room? And I go, because it's April Fool's Day. And they go, brilliant, right? And then he was
great.
He did. He came up to me afterwards. He's like, it was good. It was good.
Oh, yeah.
It was a lot. It was a blast. We had a lot of fun there for sure.
We did.
Bagel Wednesday. Do you still do Bagel Wednesdays?
I think yes, they do. They do.
Good. I need Bagel Wednesdays in my life again. Cool.
Ellis just got here actually.
Oh,
hey!
Because Ellis remembers. Because Ellis, where is he? Where's Mark? Do we see
Bring
him
him in right now.
All right, Mark Ellis is coming in because this is a reunion of sorts. Mark Ellis is here, ladies and gentlemen. Mark, Steve Wright. Remember what we used to do? We used to have Steve come in and do the angry driving guy before he come in to do the reviews. So you guys haven't talked in like I think it was like 10 years.
I love Angry Driving Guy, and the only negative that I could possibly have to levy against Steve and the amazing Angry Driving Guy is that I'm pretty sure it's your fault. You're the reason that Kristian started doing those morning drives to Collider while I was doing movie talk. And so like I'd be doing movie talk and I'd be looking at the live comments as I'm hosting the show. They'd be like, man, Kristian's really going in on Transformers. I'm like, what the hell? He's driving to work.
That's awesome.
It's true. Yeah, what are you still doing? Are you still doing Angry Driving Guy too, Steve?
So I did 90 or 89 episodes of
Holy
it.
Shit.
For people who don't know, I would just film myself on a GoPro, just jump cut and pretend you have one side of a conversation, talking to my therapist, getting broken up with, breaking up with someone, whatever the subject was. And I have one other memory from Mark. You guys got me up at the Comedy Store for a quick set.
That's right. Yeah.
And Mark's pep talk before I got up was, he's like, you're going to bomb. But it's okay. This is a tough room. You are going to do terrible. We're not going to hear any laughs. But I'm just kidding. It wasn't that bad. But you were just letting me know it was going to be tough, and it was. But yeah.
Was I accurate?
It went all right. In fact, I think the guy kind of let me go over the time. Like the light went on, but he's like, "Okay, keep going." And then I really couldn't. So I was like, no, that really is it. And I was like, where's so I go, I've got a solid minute and a half, and that's about it.
Yeah. All right. Well, cool. Steve, are you able to stick around or with us? Or you want to? All right, cool. So we'll get into some other stuff. We do have Mark, Steve, Dave, Ryan. I just said
Dave
Steve
Moore is
Steve
here
Dave.
too. This is All-Star Day.
We got a great crew here today. Wait, Ellis, are you trying to get stuff going on the road now? Is that something that is
I
a
have
possibility?
some rumblings of things that are happening this summer that I can't quite announce yet, but it's looking more promising. So
okay.
I'm just so horny for stand-up. I'm like, I'll just go. I'll just go at this point.
I'll tell you, I am too. I am too. You know it too. You've been hearing about it too much from me. I keep saying to Ellis, I was like, hey, at some point, you and I should try to put something on. He's like, let me figure out my thing first, okay?
There's certain times a day when Kristian's calling, and if you answer it, that you're just getting 10 minutes of a bit he's working on.
I have done one bit for you, maybe two in 6 months.
Kristian, George,
two. Can you name me more than two?
Just because I don't remember what your bits are doesn't mean you haven't done them.
That's true. Well, that is true though. The other day I did have one I was going to run by it, but I don't do that anymore. I just call Brett.
Kristian, I'll tell you the same thing I told Steve. Okay, it's not going to go.
Probably not. It's true. It's true. I had some good. Kate's been my sounding off board. All right, let's go to Streamlabs.
All right, we got a question for Steve from Pussy O'Connell.
Oh,
hey, y'all. Welcome to Steve. Can we just ask him what his favorite Star Wars movie is? What are some of his films or films that inspired and influenced him? Thanks, people, and God bless y'all.
It's very nice.
Awesome. Thanks for the question. I loved Rogue One. I'm a Rogue One guy. When our hero shoots the dude in the alley because they're going to get caught, I knew immediately. I'm like, yes. Seriously, I was like, dude, this is, I thought it was a perfect movie, but I'm of course, the original trilogy guy growing up, Star Wars, playing Star Wars stuff. That's what call my friend, you want to play Star Wars stuff? My favorite movie, man, I am a Rushmore guy. I just love that movie so much. And I remember at the end of the movie, he's been lying about what his father does the whole movie. He says, my dad's a surgeon or a neurosurgeon or whatever, but he's really a barber. And at one point he says, let's face it, Dad, I'm a barber's son. And you can see the hurt on his dad. But at the end of the movie, he introduces his dad to his friends. Finally, he's been kind of hiding his dad the whole movie. And that's just one teeny little part of the movie. There's so many things going on. He says, "This is my dad. He's a barber." And I'm like, tear bleeding my eye. And so I love Rushmore. To me, it's an incredibly sophisticated comedy. But I'm a comedy guy. I love comedy movies. And Allan the Dog, in some ways, is a love letter to comedy, to movies in general. There's a lot of references. We have a huge Rocky theme throughout the whole thing. Our entire ending sequence is like an homage to part one of that franchise. So, but yeah, Rushmore, that's why we pitched the movie as Ted meets Rushmore. We felt it was somewhere in between there.
Yeah, I love the Rushmore. So that's making me excited to see if it's got a Rushmore element in it. I'm checking out Al.
Got to go back and watch Tenenbaums, man. Tenenbaums is such a fucking funny. Your mother was a terribly attractive woman. It's just about. All right, let's keep reading.
50 Shades of Geek says the trailer looks great. We need more movies with puppets.
I agree.
Awesome, thank you, man. I love puppets. That sounded weird. Yeah, I do.
Once again, we were here with Steve Wright, and you should please go and check out his movie Allan the Dog. It's going to be on it's already on Amazon Prime, so go and check that out. All right, cool. So with that one, guys, thank you so much. Ryan, hit the music. I want to thank Steve Wright for joining us here today. Once again, please check out Allan the Dog on Amazon Prime right now. Dave Moore coming in and kicking ace. Dave, we're going to see a lot more Dave here on SEN. So excited to have Dave involved in the crew. Mark Ellis, Brett Sheridan, Stephanie, Deborah, Ryan, and Alex. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Thank you for joining us this week. Tomorrow, Roka's back with the crew, and maybe we'll set the goal that Mark and I will host with them. Maybe if they ask for you to do it, then it'll happen. Okay, well, thank you guys so very much, and join us on Stereo. We'll be there in 4 minutes. Peace!